Nikola Jokic makes a strong statement about Luka Dončić and the Lakers. Stay until the end to find out everything, but first, leave your like and subscribe to the channel. The basketball world stood still on February 3, 2025. It was the day Luka Dončić, the face of the Dallas Mavericks, was officially traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. The news dropped like a thunderclap just days before the NBA All-Star Weekend in San Francisco. For fans, media, and even NBA players, it was a moment of disbelief. Luka had spent his entire NBA career in Dallas up to that point. Drafted in 2018, he had quickly risen to superstardom, an all-star, all-NBA mainstay and MVP candidate year after year. He was more than just a franchise player, he was the Mavericks. His dazzling passes, clutch shots, and emotional leadership had made him the heartbeat of the team. Despite years of ups and downs in the playoffs, he remained loyal, until that moment. The reaction was instant and widespread. Social media exploded. Analysts scrambled to understand the trade details. Fans mourned, cheered, speculated. And amidst it all, one voice stood out not for its volume but for its depth: Nikola Jokic. The reigning MVP and all-star starter for the Denver Nuggets was asked about Luka's sudden departure from Dallas during the All-Star Media Day. His response was quiet but telling. "He was building something there," Jokic said, referring to Doncic's time in Dallas. "He got injured, but still. Luka is a generational player." The quote quickly made the rounds across basketball media. It was simple but packed with emotion and honesty. Jokic, known for his no-nonsense demeanor and deeply analytical approach to the game, wasn't just being polite. He was pointing to something real, something deeper. He wasn't just reacting as an opponent or fellow European star. He was reacting as someone who understood what it means to build with a franchise. Like Doncic, Jokic had become the centerpiece of a small-market team and led them to contention through hard work, chemistry, and patience. And now, his longtime Western Conference rival had been uprooted from that mission. To Jokic, it wasn't just about basketball. It was about identity. He went on, "I'm not saying Anthony Davis isn't a great player. Of course he is. But Luka changes the game in so many ways. So many possessions, so many decisions go through him. He sees things no one else does." That line echoed across the All-Star press rooms. For years, the NBA had watched as Doncic and Jokic, two of the greatest European players in history, developed a silent mutual respect on and off the court. They weren't friends in the traditional sense, rarely seen together in public or on social media, but they spoke each other's language literally and figuratively. Each knew what it meant to carry the weight of a franchise while staying grounded, while honoring their European roots. Jokic then offered something few had considered. "I think both teams win," he said calmly when asked whether the Lakers had given up too much in the deal. "Dallas will build again. Luka will do great things in LA." Those words surprised many. In an era where superstars often chase better markets, rings, or playing partners, Jokic's acceptance of the change came from a place of deep understanding. This wasn't about drama or loyalty lost. This was about adaptation, something both stars knew too well. Doncic wasn't at the All-Star game that year. He had been dealing with an injury and the emotional fallout of the trade. Jokic, when asked about his absence, offered one last comment. "It's weird. We always had fun the night before the game," he said with a rare smile. That small anecdote, two generational players connecting not on the court, but in quiet pre-game moments, was perhaps the most human response of all. It showed what basketball fans often forget. Beneath the fame, beneath the deals and stats, are men who share the journey. For Luka Dončić, the trade to the Los Angeles Lakers was more than just a jersey change. It was a dramatic shift in identity, expectations, and spotlight. In Dallas, he was the guy, the undisputed face of the franchise. In Los Angeles, he joined one of the most storied teams in NBA history, one with its own legacy, legends, and pressure. When Doncic sat down for his introductory press conference at Crypto.com Arena, the media buzz was electric. Cameras flashed. Reporters leaned forward. Fans watched live online around the world. Everyone wanted to know one thing. How did Luka really feel about leaving Dallas and starting over in LA? His response was honest, even vulnerable. The first few days were very emotional, Doncic admitted. It didn't feel real at first. These last 48 hours felt like a month. I had to process everything. You could hear the exhaustion in his voice. Not physical exhaustion, but emotional fatigue. 4 years, Luka had fought hard to make the Mavericks competitive in a tough Western Conference. Now, without warning, he was pulled from that reality and dropped into a team that was struggling to find its identity midway through the season. But he also made one thing clear. I'm happy to be here. This is the Lakers. One of the best franchises in the history of the game. I know what this opportunity means. Luka's body language said a lot more than his words. He didn't smile much. His voice was calm, not excited. It was the look of someone processing a major life change, not just professionally but personally. The trade may have been great for the Lakers on paper, but for Luka, it was complicated. Nikola Jokic picked up on that too. In an interview during All-Star Weekend, he commented, "You could see he was affected. It's not easy to leave something you've been building for years. I respect how he handled it." Jokic knew better than most what it meant to stay with one team for the long haul. He had remained loyal to the Denver Nuggets through both lean and championship years, resisting temptations to leave for larger markets or easier paths. In his eyes, Luka had taken on something massive, the weight of the purple and gold. The Lakers are not just another NBA team. They are the NBA team, with banners in the rafters, legends in the stands, and pressure on every possession. Every misstep is magnified. Every headline matters. Luka understood this. And yet he embraced it. "I didn't ask for this," he clarified. "But now that I'm here, I'll give everything I have." That honesty resonated with both fans and teammates. He wasn't pretending. He wasn't playing to the cameras. He was doing what great players do, adjusting, committing, and moving forward. Anthony Davis, who had been the Lakers' top interior presence since joining in 2019, welcomed Doncic with open arms. So did LeBron James. In fact, LeBron said something revealing on the Pat McAfee show just a few days later. "We've got to all be in sync. Luka and me, Reeves, all of us. If we click at the right time, we can be dangerous." The challenge was clear. LeBron was in his 22nd season, still effective but aging. Davis had battled through injuries. The Lakers had depth issues. Luka wasn't joining a powerhouse, he was being asked to transform one. And that's no small task. Nikola Jokic, always pragmatic, offered this prediction. If they figure out the chemistry, they can go far. Luka changes the game. He sees everything. That vision, the thing Jokic respected most about Doncic, was now going to be tested under Hollywood lights. As the All-Star Weekend came to a close, and teams prepared for the second half of the season, all eyes were on the Lakers. Could Luka elevate the franchise? Could he adjust to the LA spotlight and still play his game? No one knew yet. But one thing was certain. The pressure had arrived. And Luka, like Jokic, would have to carry greatness on his back. Luka Dončić made his debut for the Los Angeles Lakers on February 6, 2025. Just 3 days after the blockbuster trade. It was a home game at Crypto.com Arena against the Sacramento Kings, a tough opponent fighting for playoff position. The arena was packed. The energy was electric. Celebrities lined the courtside seats. Fans wore brand new Doncic number 77 Lakers jerseys. The air was heavy with anticipation. This wasn't just a game. It was a new era. Luka jogged out of the tunnel wearing Lakers gold. No longer the centerpiece of Dallas, he was now part of the league's most high-profile team. The lights were brighter, the crowd louder, and the expectations higher. You felt it? The first quarter was rough. Doncic looked hesitant. His rhythm was off. Passes missed their marks. His shot didn't fall. But more than that, it was visible he was thinking instead of reacting. For a player known for his instinctive genius, that meant something was off. After the game he said, "I was overthinking a lot. Trying to make the perfect play. Trying not to mess up." That self-awareness was vintage Luka. But by the third quarter something shifted. He stopped trying to be perfect and started to be himself. He hit a step-back three in transition. Then another. Then a no-look bounce pass to Anthony Davis for a dunk. then a laser to Austin Reeves in the corner. The Lakers bench erupted. The crowd stood. It was the first glimpse of what could be. By the final buzzer, Doncic had posted 27 points, 9 assists, and 7 rebounds in a 113-106 win. More importantly, the team looked alive. They played faster. They moved with purpose. The energy had changed. After the game, LeBron James, who had 18 points and 8 rebounds himself, told reporters, "You could see it start to click. He's special. We just have to give it a little time." That trust meant everything. LeBron didn't hand out compliments easily, but he recognized the signs. Luka's vision, patience, and court awareness were already changing how the Lakers played. In the days that followed, the national conversation exploded. Pundits debated whether the Lakers were now title contenders. Others questioned the fit. Could Luka coexist with LeBron and AD in a system built around ball dominance? Nikola Jokic, watching from afar, was asked during a Nuggets media session whether he believed the hype. His response was calm and confident. "You saw the second half, right? That's who he is. He reads the game better than almost anyone. He just needs to breathe." Needs to breathe. That became a quote shared all over NBA social media circles. Jokic had captured the essence of the situation. Doncic wasn't struggling, he was adjusting. And once he did, the league would have to deal with a new problem. A focused Luka in a system with elite teammates. And yet, it wasn't just about stats or highlights. The following game, Doncic had 11 assists and just 1 turnover in a win against the Grizzlies. He played controlled basketball. He didn't force shots. He got his teammates involved early. When reporters asked about his new approach, he said, "I'm learning every day. I'm not here to take over, I'm here to win." That mentality impressed his teammates. Anthony Davis, who had been under pressure to deliver since the Lakers' 2020 title, shared this insight. "Luka's different. He's not just a scorer. He's a thinker. He makes things easier for everybody." Austin Reeves echoed the sentiment. "The floor feels wider. He sees things before they happen." The Lakers went 4-1 in Doncic's first 5 games. The offense improved. The ball moved. Even the defense tightened up, with Luka playing smarter rotations despite never being known for elite defense. In just 2 weeks, the Lakers had gone from playoff bubble to legitimate threat in the West. Fans dared to believe again. And within the locker room, a quiet chemistry was building, not just between Luka and LeBron, but between Luka and the system itself. It wasn't perfect. There were still moments of miscommunication. Rotations needed work. But the foundation was there. And Jokic, watching closely, remained one of the few who wasn't surprised. He had seen it before. He had felt it before. He knew what it looked like when a genius adapted to chaos and found control. Luka had started to breathe. And the NBA was on notice. As the All-Star break ended and the regular season resumed, the Lakers looked reborn. With Luka Dončić now firmly in the lineup, fans and analysts began to speak of the team in new terms. Fluid, patient, dangerous. But within the organization, the spotlight shifted towards something deeper than talent or momentum. It was about chemistry. More specifically, it was about whether Luka Dončić, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis could form a real partnership. The league had seen superstar trios before. Some worked, like the 2012 Miami Heat or the 2008 Boston Celtics. Others fizzled under pressure, egos, or bad timing. The Lakers were trying to write their own chapter, with 3 alpha-level players who each saw the game differently. And yet, they all wanted the same thing. "It's not about numbers anymore," Doncic said in an interview on Spectrum Sportsnet. "I've done that. I've had the triple-doubles. I want to win." That simple line struck a chord. In his first 7 games with the Lakers, Doncic averaged 24.8 points, 10.1 assists, and 7 rebounds per game. But what impressed the coaching staff even more was his adaptability. He wasn't demanding the offense run through him. He wasn't dominating the ball for 20 seconds of possession. Instead, he played within flow. He listened. He let others lead at times. LeBron, entering his 22nd season, understood the importance of that sacrifice. He had once been the younger star stepping into a storied franchise. Now he was the mentor. "He's got the keys to the future," LeBron told reporters. "I'm just here to help guide the car." It was a graceful transition, one that not all veterans are willing to make. But LeBron, despite his still formidable production, seemed intent on lifting Doncic rather than competing with him. And then there was Anthony Davis. Often viewed as the most enigmatic member of the trio, AD had endured a roller coaster of injuries and expectations since the 2020 championship. But something about Luka's presence settled him. The spacing was better. The passes came on time. The burden to create on his own lessened. "Luka lets me be myself," Davis said after a 34-point, 12-rebound performance against the Suns. "I don't have to force anything." The connection between the three stars wasn't just functional, it was philosophical. They each approached the game from a different angle but with the same reverence. They studied tape together. They talked during timeouts. They trusted each other. Still, it wasn't always smooth. In a tense game against the Timberwolves, the Lakers blew a 16-point lead in the second half. Turnovers piled up. Luka and AD argued after a botched pick and roll. LeBron looked frustrated during a timeout, gesturing at both players. After the loss, Luka took responsibility. "That one's on me," he said in the post-game interview. "We had miscommunication and I didn't adjust fast enough." AD later clarified in the locker room. "That's part of building something new. You work through the rough nights. That's how you build trust." Nikola Jokic, who had been asked again by reporters about how Luka was fitting in, gave a short but thoughtful reply. "They're learning to dance. At first you step on each other. Then you move together." That image stuck with people. The Lakers were still stepping on toes occasionally, but when they moved in sync, it was beautiful. One possession against the Clippers in early March went viral. Luka drove baseline kick to LeBron at the top, who immediately flipped it to Davis for a lob. 3 passes in 3 seconds. No dribbles. Pure rhythm. Even the opposing bench applauded. From that point on, something clicked. The Lakers went on a 6-game win streak. The offense flowed. The body language improved. They climbed from 8th to 4th in the West. Quietly, the team had become one of the most efficient in the league in half-court sets. Off the court, the trio began to spend more time together. Team dinners, film sessions, even family gatherings. Luka was growing more comfortable in the Los Angeles spotlight. His English interviews became more relaxed. His personality started to shine. He joked with reporters. He laughed more in warm-ups. The trust was growing. Not just on the court, but inside the locker room. And that, more than stats or standings, was what defined this new Lakers era. Because in the NBA, talent gets you headlines. But trust? Trust builds championships. For all the momentum the Lakers were building, the critics weren't quiet. Pundits on national TV shows still doubted whether the LeBron, Doncic, Davis trio could truly thrive in the playoffs. Local radio hosts questioned the depth of the bench. And former Lakers legend Magic Johnson, known for being both a supporter and a blunt critic of the franchise, added fuel to the fire. Speaking on ESPN's Get Up during mid-March 2025, Magic made headlines with a sharp assessment. "We need a big man. A real big man who can defend and rebound. And we need to be quicker. Right now we're too slow. That's why Minnesota made us look bad." He wasn't wrong. The Lakers had lost 2 of 3 games to the Timberwolves, and both defeats exposed weaknesses in the paint and in transition defense. Magic continued. "If we don't fix those things, we can't win a championship. I'm not saying Luka isn't great. Yes. But greatness without support doesn't win in the playoffs." The clip went viral. Headlines followed. Talk shows debated whether Magic had a point, or was being unfair to a team still building chemistry. Fans split into camps. Some defended the roster, citing the recent surge in wins. Others echoed Magic's concerns. Luka Dončić didn't respond publicly at first, but insiders later revealed that the comments stung. He had come to Los Angeles not to be praised, but to be held to a higher standard. And he was learning that in LA, even great wasn't always enough. 3 nights after Magic's remarks, the Lakers faced the Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic's team, the defending champions and the ultimate measuring stick. The game was nationally televised. The lights were bright. And Luka came out firing. He scored 17 points in the first quarter alone. Step-backs, floaters, cross-court passes with either hand. He played with a focus that was unmistakable. The Lakers led by 15 at halftime. Jokic, meanwhile, kept the Nuggets steady. He picked his spots. He found cutters. He exploited every defensive mistake. In the third quarter, the game tightened. Denver tied it with 2 minutes left. The ball went to Luka. He isolated. Jokic switched onto him. A moment of mutual respect and mutual understanding. Luka didn't go for the highlight. He drove hard, collapsed the defense, and kicked the ball to Austin Reaves in the corner. Swish. Lakers win 112-109. After the game, reporters asked Luka about the outside noise, about Magic Johnson's comments. He smiled, then answered softly. Magic is right. This is the Lakers. We have to be better. Always. He didn't argue. He didn't get defensive. Instead, he embraced the pressure. He owned it. LeBron, when asked about the same comment, was more direct. We respect Magic. We know he wants the best for this team. And that's what we're working on every day. Behind the scenes, head coach Darvin Ham had already begun tweaking the rotation. More minutes for Jared Vanderbilt. A tighter defensive scheme for fourth quarters. Less switching, more drop coverage. The goal? Protect the paint, play smarter, and limit fast breaks. And the results came quickly. The Lakers responded to Magic's critique with 5 straight wins, including impressive victories over Golden State and Phoenix. The ball movement improved. The defensive rotations were sharper. The transition game, once a glaring flaw, became a strength. Nikola Jokic, when asked to assess the Lakers after the rematch, didn't hesitate. They're figuring it out. That's what good teams do. And Luka, he's not just playing. He's leading. It was a quiet endorsement, but a meaningful one. Because in a league where narratives change daily, what mattered most wasn't just what people said, but who was saying it. Jokic knew what greatness looked like. And so did Magic. And now, more than ever, so did Luka Dončić. As April approached, the regular season wound down, but for the Lakers, everything was speeding up. They had just 12 games left and every one of them mattered. At the beginning of March, the team had been hovering around the 8th seed, fighting to avoid the play-in tournament. By early April, thanks to Luka Dončic's steady leadership and the emerging chemistry with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, the Lakers had surged to 4th place in the Western Conference. But it wasn't smooth sailing. The schedule was brutal. Back-to-backs. National TV games. Road trips to Utah, Portland, and Memphis. Every game was a test of physical and mental stamina, and of whether this new version of the Lakers could truly stand among the elite. In a pivotal win over the Sacramento Kings, Doncic posted a triple-double. 32 points, 13 assists, and 11 rebounds. But more than the stat line, it was the way he controlled the game. He slowed it down when the Lakers needed rest. He sped it up when he saw holes in transition. He never forced shots. He kept the ball moving. After the win, Anthony Davis said, "I don't even have to think anymore. I just run to the right spots. Luka will find me." And he did, over and over again. Austin Reaves, too, found a new rhythm. In one stretch, he averaged 16 points over 5 games, shooting over 40% from 3. When asked what changed, he laughed. "I don't know. Maybe having a genius on the floor helps." Meanwhile, LeBron took a measured approach. His minutes were carefully managed by the coaching staff, but his impact remained critical. He became the team's closer, hitting key shots late in games and anchoring the defense during crunch time. Off the court, he took on the mentor role in full force. "Luka's got the game," LeBron told ESPN in an interview. "He's learning how to lead. There's a difference. And he's learning fast." That evolution was visible. Doncic had started the season in Dallas as a frustrated franchise player, carrying too much, often alone. Now, in LA, he was becoming a true leader, reading teammates, knowing when to speak, when to step back, and when to take over. Head coach Darvin Ham noted, "He's not just playing. He's orchestrating." That's the highest level of point guard play. But with progress came pressure. A late-season loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder, after blowing a 14-point lead, raised new concerns about the team's focus. Luka had 29 points but only 3 assists, and the offense stalled in the final minutes. In the locker room afterward, Doncic didn't make excuses. "We stopped moving," he said. "That starts with me. I have to keep the ball alive." The next night against the Dallas Mavericks, his former team, Luka responded with one of his best games of the season. 35 points, 12 assists, 8 rebounds, and a 118-104 win. He didn't gloat. He didn't stare down the opposing bench. He played with poise and purpose. When asked about facing his old teammates, he simply said, "It's just another game. I'm focused on what's ahead." And what lay ahead was clear: the playoffs. The Lakers officially clinched a top 6 seed with 3 games to go, avoiding the play-in and earning some valuable rest. In the final game of the regular season, they defeated the Clippers to secure the number 3 seed in the West, a feat few would have predicted 2 months earlier. Luka averaged 26.2 points, 10.5 assists, and 7.3 rebounds in his 29 games with the Lakers. But the numbers told only part of the story. He had transformed the way the Lakers played. He had elevated the confidence of those around him. He had answered every challenge thrown at him: Magic Johnson's criticism, the weight of expectation, and the friction of change, with maturity. Nikola Jokic, asked to name the most dangerous teams heading into the postseason, didn't hesitate. "The Lakers," he said. "They have Luka. And they're healthy. That's a bad combination for everyone else." The climb had been steep. The spotlight had never faded. But now Luka Dončić and the Lakers stood at the doorstep of the playoffs, united, tested, and dangerous. The next chapter would be the most difficult. And maybe the most beautiful. The moment had arrived. Crypto.com arena was louder than ever, bathed in playoff purple and gold. The crowd stood for every possession. Celebrities lined the front row. The pregame light show dazzled. But none of it distracted Luka Dončić. This wasn't his first time in the playoffs, but it was his first time wearing this jersey, in this building, under this pressure. The Lakers, as the number 3 seed, were set to face the New Orleans Pelicans, a tough, physical team led by Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram. Young, explosive, fearless. Exactly the kind of opponent that could challenge a team still coalescing around a mid-season superstar addition. And challenge they did. Game 1 was a slugfest. The Pelicans threw everything at Luka: blitzes, traps, double teams off screens. They attacked his legs, bumped him on drives, switched wings on him to wear him down. For 3 quarters it worked. Luka shot just 4 for 13 from the field. The Lakers trailed by 11 heading into the 4th. But then came the silence. Not in the arena, in Luka's mind. He stopped reacting and started reading. The pace slowed. The decisions got sharper. He ran pick and roll with Anthony Davis 6 straight possessions. 3 resulted in alley-oops. 2 in fouls. 1 in a mid-range dagger. Then, with 38 seconds left and the game tied, he isolated against Herb Jones, one of the league's best defenders. Step back. Right wing. 3-pointer. Splash. The Lakers held on to win 108-105. Luka finished with 22 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds. After the game, LeBron told reporters, "That's why he's here. That's why we made the move." Luka, however, was less satisfied. "I've got to start faster," he said. "I let them get too comfortable. That can't happen in the playoffs." Game 2 was a statement. Doncic came out aggressive, scoring 14 in the first quarter. He got to the line early. He controlled the tempo. The Lakers cruised to a 121-104 win behind his 30 points and 12 assists. Anthony Davis praised him in the post-game. "He sees things we don't. He knows where the help is coming from before it even moves." Still, the Pelicans weren't done. Back in New Orleans for Game 3, they played their best game of the series. Zion exploded for 33 points. Their bench outscored the Lakers by 18. Luka had 25 and 9, but it wasn't enough. LA fell 117-110. The media started to question the Lakers' depth again. Magic Johnson went on local radio and reiterated, If this team goes far, it'll be because Luka carries them, and that's asking a lot. Luka didn't flinch. Game 4 was his answer. He recorded the first 40-point playoff game of his Lakers career. 41 points, 13 assists, 10 rebounds. A triple-double masterpiece. He picked apart the Pelicans' defense like a surgeon. Spin passes. Touch lobs. Step backs from 30 feet. Even Zion had to shake his head on the bench after one impossible three. The Lakers won 124-112 and took a commanding 3-1 series lead. Nikola Jokic, who was wrapping up his own first-round series at the time, was asked on TNT about Luka's performance. His reply was simple. He's comfortable now. That's dangerous. Back in Los Angeles for Game 5, the Lakers closed the series. It wasn't Luka's most dominant performance. He had 23 points and 10 assists, but it was clinical. He set the tone. Controlled the pace. Never let New Orleans feel momentum. Davis dominated inside. LeBron hit timely shots. The crowd roared at the final buzzer. Series over, Lakers 4, Pelicans 1. In his first playoff series with the Lakers, Luka averaged 28.2 points, 11.2 assists, 7.4 rebounds, 52.6% FG, 41.3% from 3. But more important than the numbers was the feeling around the team. They looked like a unit now. The offense wasn't just Luka ball. It was movement, timing, synergy. The defense was committed. The bench gave solid minutes. The leadership was shared, but Luka was clearly the engine. After the Game 5 win, he stood at the podium and smiled. We're just getting started. The next challenge would be even tougher. A second-round showdown with either the Golden State Warriors or the Denver Nuggets. Either way, the spotlight would only grow. But Luka was ready. Because he wasn't just surviving the playoffs anymore. He was shaping them. The Western Conference semifinals was set. The Los Angeles Lakers, riding high off their series win against the Pelicans, faced the defending champions, Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. It was a matchup NBA fans had been craving for years. Two of the most gifted playmakers in the league, both with unique styles and immense basketball IQ, going head-to-head on the biggest stage. From the opening tip-off in Denver, the series was a chess match. Jokic, known for his unassuming demeanor and almost supernatural passing ability, immediately tried to exploit the Lakers' new defensive rotations. His vision and patience on offense forced the Lakers to stay alert at all times. He averaged 30 points, 11 rebounds, and 12 assists over the first 2 games. Luka Dončić, meanwhile, embraced the challenge like a true competitor. He wasn't intimidated by Jokic's MVP reputation. Instead, he saw it as an opportunity to prove himself. In Game 1, Luka dropped 36 points, 14 assists, and 9 rebounds, but the Nuggets eked out a 118-114 victory. The game was a back-and-forth battle, with multiple lead changes and clutch shots from both stars. LeBron James played a critical supporting role, scoring 24 points and grabbing 8 rebounds, while Anthony Davis anchored the defense with 3 blocks. The rivalry quickly took on a narrative beyond basketball. Commentators dubbed it the Duel of the Court Geniuses. Social media buzzed with highlights of Luka's step-back threes and Jokic's no-look passes. By Game 3 back in Los Angeles, the intensity grew. Luka scored 42 points and dished out 13 assists. The Lakers won 125-118, leveling the series at 1-1. After the game, Nikola Jokic spoke candidly about his opponent. Luka is special. The way he sees the floor reminds me of myself, Jokic said. He's fearless and he's getting better every game. Luka in turn showed respect. Nikola is one of the best players I've ever faced. To compete with him makes me want to be better. The series was not just about scoring or assists. It was about leadership under pressure, making split-second decisions, and carrying the weight of entire franchises. In Game 5, with the Nuggets leading the series 3-1, Luka responded with an incredible performance. 45 points, 16 assists, and 10 rebounds. Despite his efforts, the Lakers lost 123-120, falling behind 4-1 and facing elimination. Yet, the series was a proving ground for Luka's growth. He showed us what true grit looks like, LeBron said in a post-game interview. That's why he's the future. Nikola Jokic's masterful playmaking and consistency ultimately helped Denver advance to the Western Conference Finals, but the battle had elevated Luka's status in the eyes of fans, analysts, and players alike. This playoff series cemented a rivalry that promised to define the next era of the NBA. And as the season closed, both Luka and Nikola knew the war was only beginning. After the grueling Western Conference semifinals against the Nuggets, the Lakers returned to Los Angeles with mixed emotions. The series loss was tough, but the team had taken significant steps forward. For Luka Dončić, the experience was transformative. Facing Nikola Jokic's disciplined and cerebral style forced Luka to elevate his game mentally. He realized that talent alone wasn't enough. Playoff success demanded relentless preparation, sharper decision-making, and resilience. In a candid interview with The Athletic, Luka reflected, "Playing against Nikola showed me the importance of patience and trusting my teammates. I can't do it all alone and I don't want to." LeBron James, ever the veteran mentor, embraced the role of guiding Luka through the post-series debrief. "I told him, this is the NBA playoffs. The margin for error is razor thin. You learn more in losses than in wins." Anthony Davis echoed the sentiment. "We have to get better as a unit. Defense, bench production, and consistency. We're close but not there yet." Off the court, the Lakers front office began strategizing for the offseason. The team's improved core was undeniable. LeBron's leadership, Davis's dominance, and Luka's emergence created a dynamic foundation. But the supporting cast required upgrades. Executives focused on acquiring versatile defenders and reliable shooters to bolster depth. There was also talk of exploring salary cap flexibility to position the Lakers for future championship runs. Fans remained optimistic. Social media buzzed with highlights from the season and spirited debates about how high the team could climb next year. Luka, meanwhile, remained grounded. He committed himself to off-season development, refining his shooting mechanics, enhancing his conditioning, and studying defensive schemes. The goal was clear: to lead the Lakers to the promised land. "I want to be a champion here," Luka said in a press conference. "This city, this team deserves it." LeBron, Davis, and the coaching staff embraced the challenge ahead, ready to support Luka's evolution as a leader. The 2024-25 season had been a critical chapter, a turning point. Now, with lessons learned and hunger renewed, the Lakers set their sights on a new journey, a championship quest fueled by resilience, teamwork, and belief. As the 2024-25 season closed, the Los Angeles Lakers stood at a crossroads. The team had shown flashes of brilliance, blending veteran experience with youthful energy. Luka Dončić, now undeniably the centerpiece, had proven he could thrive under pressure and lead a franchise hungry for its next championship. But the road ahead was anything but easy. The NBA landscape was evolving rapidly. The Golden State Warriors sought to reclaim their dominance. The Denver Nuggets were hungry to defend their title. The Phoenix Suns, Memphis Grizzlies, and Dallas Mavericks all posed serious threats. Amid this fierce competition, the Lakers knew that building a true dynasty required more than talent. It demanded unity, adaptation, and unwavering commitment. Luka, reflecting on the past season's triumphs and trials, embraced this reality with determination. "This is just the beginning," he said during summer workouts. "We've laid the foundation. Now it's about building something that lasts." LeBron James, in a mentor role that grew by the day, acknowledged the changing of the guard. "Luka is the future of this franchise. My job is to support him, share what I've learned, and help him become the leader we need." The coaching staff committed to refining their systems. More defensive discipline, faster pace, and maximizing the unique skills of their core players. Off-season moves hinted at a more balanced roster, blending shooting, defense, and versatility. For the fans, hope was renewed. Social media buzzed with #LukaLegacy trending weekly. Analysts debated whether this Lakers team could finally end the long championship drought. But beyond the hype, Luka's focus remained inward. Every workout, every film session, every off-season drill. He wasn't chasing records or accolades. He was chasing a legacy. One that would etch his name alongside the greats who donned the purple and gold. Because in Los Angeles, history isn't just made, it's demanded. And Luka Dončić was ready to answer that call. The dawn of a new Lakers era had arrived. And the basketball world was watching. By the end of the 2024-25 season, Luka Dončić had done more than just elevate the Lakers on the scoreboard. He had redefined what it meant to lead in Los Angeles. His style of play, blending creativity, intelligence, and fearlessness, had rekindled the city's passion for basketball. Young fans filled arenas inspired by his every move. Teammates spoke of his work ethic and humility. Coaches admired his basketball IQ and willingness to grow. But Luka's influence extended beyond the hardwood. He became a bridge between generations, honoring the legacy of Lakers legends while carving out his own unique path. Off the court, he engaged with the community, championed social causes, and embraced the responsibility of being a role model. In interviews, he often spoke about the importance of teamwork, not just in basketball but in life. "We all need each other," he said. "On the court, off the court. That's how we win together." The media labeled him a generational talent, but Luka remained grounded. He knew that true greatness wasn't measured only in points or titles but in lasting impact. As the Lakers prepared for the next chapter, fans and analysts agreed. Luka Dončić wasn't just the future of the franchise, he was shaping the future of the game itself. And as the sun set over Los Angeles, the city pulsed with anticipation. For the story of Luka Dončić and the Lakers was far from over. It was just beginning.